So I've started a new series. I've decided to take on a couple of people who are in creative fields, whether that's uni now, finished uni, and they're stepping out on their own now into the creative world and are trying to get their first breaks in the industry, basically. I believe that anyone can have a creative career. Anyone can reduce their normal job hours through a creative passion and potentially even shift into full-time work in the creative field. I've made it work for myself. I get to travel around a fair bit, different countries, through different gigs, various different work opportunities, multiple bits of TV, film. And now it's time to get some other people into the game. This is something that I would have wanted to see someone do for me back in the day. So now I'm looking to see if I've got what it takes to make it work for someone else too. So what you got now is Jude. Jude is my new cousin. He's just graduated from uni doing radio. I believe his course might have been more in like media, but he's now looking to become a presenter for TV, presenter for radio. And we're gonna now work with Jude closely for the next 6 to 12 months. And let's see if we can get him his first big break that actually pays something. This is a series you're going to want to follow along for. What you're about to watch is day 0, our first call, discussing this and kind of setting the ground lines, the ground rules, the goals that we're actually going to start working towards and working with.
So I kind of got to like this point, right?
Yeah.
I was down here. This was when I was ready to pack it in, and then I just kind of committed to making it work, or at least giving it a proper shot. But Jude, you're one of the winners.
Get in.
So for clarity, in case anyone's questioning it or is unclear, Jude is actually my new cousin of my wife. He just graduated uni in radio, media. So why don't you just fill us in a bit more about your current situation? Where are you at?
All right, so I've been doing radio at Phoenix Radio from 2020 to just gone July 2023. I was a station manager there, and I had a lot of fun. I got to put on a lot of external events. We got to go to lots of different awards ceremonies, and I managed to build the station up post-COVID, because just before COVID, the station started just before COVID. Then after COVID, like, it kind of shut down a bit, so I managed to bring it back up, and from there I started all the video production, and I've gone on to, after leaving the station, gone on to make my own TikToks. I'm just trying to find a place whether I'm going to do radio presenting or radio production, or radio production then radio presenting.
So why are we here? Why are we here right now?
I think it's because since leaving uni, I need the help to try and find some find some sort of work outside of uni, because I feel like I do have a lot of skills, and I wouldn't want them to go to waste in a way. That makes sense.
I mean, it definitely makes sense, but like, what specifically? So you say work outside of uni. What specifically are we looking at?
I'd say either radio production or like YouTube TV or TV presenting or radio presenting. Those are like the 2/3 areas I want to go into. Some full, well, the area is broadcast that I want to go into, but those are the 3 main sectors I want to go into.
If you had to choose between production or presenting, where would you lean towards?
Presenting easily.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's leave the production side for now, knowing that it's a skill. It's a skill set that you do have that might come in handy. There might be a lot of stuff in the future where actually, you know, that might actually be it's one potential in to getting into the presenting side. Specifically then, why is this a challenge?
Well, because I'd say from talks I've gone to as well, like, they say the industry is very competitive. It is very competitive, but the thing is, I'd say it's more competitive now, because alongside where before you just, you know, hand in maybe one show reel and you're set for 50 years. Like, you've got like TV presenters, Nick Owen, Nick Manchetti, you've got like Holly Willoughby, they're all set. But then now trying to do it, you've got the likes of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You've got those sectors that you have to compete with. Then you've got your own sector if you don't do those and you want to just do it the old-fashioned way, handing in a show reel or handing in a CV. And then because a lot of people want to do it as well, because everyone who I know and the majority of the country right now want to be content creators and influencers. So getting in to TV is more difficult in a way. And I don't want to have to go down the sector of like, going on to Love Island or going on to Too Hot to Handle to land a TV role.
I'm going to pose you a different view. What if the fact that now we do have the YouTube, the TikTok, the Instagram, what if that makes it easier?
I think it does.
For you to be in TV, film, radio presenting.
Yeah, I think it does. It's just there's more competition now because there's a lot of talent. And the thing is, a lot of companies are pushing the talent outside of London as well. So you have the London creators, and then you have the Northern creators, and then you have the Midlands creators. So they're actually starting to see all three areas of England in a way. So London's where it's all at the moment, but then they're trying to push it to Birmingham now. So this will give Birmingham creators more of a chance, which I like because, the Brummies can show what they have and Black Country can show what they have. And that's good. That's good in that sector. But then once again, there's still that massive competition because it's a region that isn't really looked upon.
One thing I'd be careful of is ruling yourself out or ruling out opportunities because you're Midlands based.
Yeah.
I think I would go as far as to argue okay, in terms of making this happen as in like your full-time thing, at this point in time, I don't think where you're based is important.
Yeah.
It might change your approach, but I don't think it's important simply because if you develop the ability to build and craft an audience, companies and businesses, they might not necessarily, it's a different story if you're talking about working with a specific company. But if we're just talking about like, let's start with the groundworks of actually doing this in a way that pays you and not having to go into full-time other work long term, then I don't think it's going to be as relevant to what
that's fair enough. Yeah.
Remind me again, what's the goal here? What are you trying to do?
Presenting on like whether that's on TV, YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah, you're hitting where I was going with that. That's it. You see, it's the skill set. The skill set here is actually presenting. It's less important whether it's radio, TV, film. They're all kind of merging into the same.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
The same thing, but you understand. It's the skill is having an audience and having the people to present and entertain you.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
With this series, what I'm not trying to do, one of the reasons I picked you is I'm not trying to do something where someone is just, and it's not just the only reason, but someone's looking for me to essentially put them in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not what this is about. This isn't me just being like, right, yeah, I'm plugging you actually, because if I just wanted to be a fixer, then I'd go and do that and charge commission. And actually, I've realized in the last 2 years, I've put a few people onto some good gigs that really, if I was a fixer, I'd be having a good couple cuts off the back of it, even at 10%.
Yeah,
so
fair, yeah.
That it was even a route. It was a route I considered, but long term, I think helping creatives build something for themselves is going to be more valuable and sustainable. And I can still do the fixing stuff later, but that's not what this is about. We're not going to have a series if that's the kind of route that this went down.
Yeah.
People that I picked.
So, makes sense. Yeah.
What do you think of the current roadblocks? Why haven't you done it already? Or why are you even putting your time into this? Why aren't you just doing it yourself?
I feel like because like people say you can't like be an island in a way, you can do things by yourself, but it's better to get help from people. So when say I do something, I can still get some constructive criticism how to build myself a bit better. So if there's something I'm not doing properly, I can show someone and they'll be like, okay, that's good, but you can do this to be a bit better. Or say if I was to present on something, you're good, but you need to slow down when you're talking, or you're good, but you need to be more engaging. So it's just having that bit of constructive criticism so that I'm not just doing something and not having any sort of, I don't know the word, but like having any sort of, not as in no sense towards it, if that makes sense.
It's accountability.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your current strategy?
So my current strategy, I have a TikTok page, and the first video I showed was like all the stuff I've done over the last 3 years. And then at the moment, I'm just like making short little videos to current topics. So the current topic I just did was like the Love Island reunion, Love Island final. Then from there, I'll make like short TikTok shorts. And then from there, when Big Brother starts, I'll do like little debriefs, because I've seen people do like the debriefs. And from the debriefs, you can get to have sort of an understanding of, say, if you were to go on a show, how would you host it, and what information or what interview techniques would you use for people who have left the Big Brother house. And
yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. That's it's that thing, isn't it? Right now, keep it current, but then also having it's. I think one of the largest issues I've experienced, and I've seen in other people working alongside me, my colleagues, and that is finding the content to make. Yeah, it's cool. You start making content, you're good for about 15, 20 videos, and then you hit a wall of
what now?
What? Yeah. So having some kind of series, and even like you're saying, like for you to be doing the reaction and summary stuff of popular TV shows, that makes a lot of sense. I think one of the largest issues I've experienced, and I've seen in other people working alongside me, my colleagues, and that is finding the content to make. Yeah, I think it's cool. You start making content, you're good for about 15, 20 videos, and then you hit a wall of
what now?
What? Yeah. So having some kind of series, and even like you're saying, like for you to be doing the reaction and summary stuff of popular TV shows, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. What's your scale going to be?
As in like reaching out to people?
The amount you're going to be producing?
I don't know, maybe, because the thing is, maybe like 4, like once a day could even be one. Because I'm seeing like once a day at 12 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
You could be I mean, if you got thing is, you've got more time now than you're ever going to have again.
That's true.
So I would take as much advantage as you can right now.
Yeah,
I'm in two minds really. With there's the whole quality versus quantity debate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, think of videos as digital real estate, right? They're all individual little houses that can bring you returns. Yeah. Once you've done it, you've done it. Like if you're putting them in multiple places anyway, even using YouTube Shorts as well.
Yeah.
And more people are using TikTok like a search engine. So
that's true. That is very true.
I'm still getting saves for stuff I did possibly a year ago now.
Really?
So yeah, I think TikTok is starting to work like that, and it's not just a once post and it disappears forever now. If you start hitting the right algorithms for your audience, but there's going to be a certain amount of scale. Take advantage of that time now. Every piece you put up basically is, as long as it's not trash, it's an advantage to you. Unless your thing was putting out the most high quality production and films, and you were more into like the cinematography side of things. Yeah. And that was the route you were going down. I'd then say, all about getting the quality and the most engaging, and then finding a way to maybe up your production level. But with the presenting side, you want to focus, double down on the presenting.
Yeah, rather than
So-
the good production.
It's obviously improve the production where you can.
Yeah,
Like, if there's a difference between making the content or not, especially your reaction stuff to the new series.
yeah,
I think actually being one of the first to get the stuff up there is
yeah.
going to be much more useful for you
Mm,
than focusing on the production.
yeah.
So you see the pen here. Essentially, this is essentially you now.
Yeah.
You want to get up here. This is you being full-time radio presenter. What are the roadblocks in the way here from getting there?
A lot of it would be content production, and then just getting myself out there, networking as well.
Okay, specifically with the roadblocks then, like maybe that's the wrong question to ask. What is going to get you hired? How are you going to get hired? Who is going to hire you?
I'd say I'd want to get hired by, like, I'd say a BBC show or Channel 4 show, because they're the ones who are, I'd say they're very inclusive to when it comes to a lot of like shows, or ITV2, because you got all the reality shows. It would be cool to be like, you know how they have like Big Brother's little brother, or to be an online reporter for Big Brother, and then interview castmates after leaving, going to towns and ask questions about, who do you think's going to get kicked out, or who have you voted for? But make sure I keep that impartiality, obviously. But it would have that, and then from there look to network into different places to get different ways of how I could spruce up videos and do my research on how to make better reaction videos, things like that.
Why do you want to be hired by those companies?
Because I'm seeing.
It's not a silly question. I mean, like genuinely, like why? What do you want to get out of being hired by them?
I think the thing I want to get out of being hired by them is just doing something I enjoy, if that makes sense. So it's like, because I'm seeing people like, you've got Mo Gilligan, Big Nasty, you've got Nella, you've got Chunks. They're all on Channel 4 and Channel 4.0. And from how it seems, they're loving what they're doing. And then I got to be a part of a thing on Channel 4.0, like a little pilot episode. And because obviously I saw the behind the scenes and the making of the episode, and from what they were doing, you could tell they really enjoy it. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's something I really want to do. And then going to watch a live taping of Love Island last year, I could see everybody there who was on camera, who was presenting, who was doing crowd warming. And then when Laura Whitmore was on stage, this is the season when she was on, you could tell she was loving every second of what she was doing. Then you have BBC, who, like I've seen firsthand, I've seen the presenters firsthand host. You can tell they enjoy, like everyone basically enjoys what they're doing, and I'd like to just do something where I'm enjoying what I'm doing in a way and having fun with it.
Yeah, man. You see, it's a momentum thing. It's a momentum thing, and it's getting into the right rooms. In my experience, you never know where the opportunity is going to come from.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most random person. If it's anything like my journey, it will be the most random person, the random thing that you never thought anything would come from, that ends up giving you the transforming opportunity.
Yeah.
So with that, the reason I asked was, obviously we say all these things, everyone wants to have fun. At the same time, it's one of the last things everyone says, but it's one of the first reasons why they wouldn't leave their job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So clearly, for most people, unless you're a kept individual, money is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think even like when it comes to making TikToks, I still want to, even though I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I still like to get a revenue from it, even if it's a few hundred, whatever, even a £50, like even something to show like what I'm doing is paying off in a way, if that makes sense.
I would like to suggest that we have a goal of you earning your first £1,000 through presenting in the next 12 months. That's a good amount of time. But that's the thing, if sometimes it's one of those ones where, it might take you 4 years of hard work, might take you 10 years of hard work to land your dream gig, but then you've got the dream gig.
Exactly. And then the 10 years, 4 years, whatever, it can, like, the hard work kind of pays off in a way.
Yeah.
Like, even still, me in sixth form, I got asked to, like, do the little radio station there. It never fully went through because of COVID, but we got to do, like, I think 2 pilot episodes. We did the 2 pilot episodes. I listened to them back in first year when I joined Phoenix. I was like, wow, I've come quite a long way. Then I listened to my first show at Phoenix to my last show. I was like, okay, wow. And then seeing the things I got to do at Phoenix, like help with Big Weekend, which was something I never even envisaged. And then being able to, like, co-host with Greg James, that was sick. And then, like, and that took quite a long time to do.
Have you kept in contact with any of those people?
Yeah. So I've kept in. Obviously, couldn't keep in contact with Greg James because he's A-list. But I've managed to keep.
Listen, don't run all of that.
Mm.
Everyone's a person. Some people have bad attitudes, but everyone's you. Once you start doing a certain level of stuff, it's weird, right? Where the hard stuff is the early stage.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, man. I was ready to quit, pack it in. No, I'm serious, man.
Yeah.
So serious. I had a apprenticeship form ready to be filled in, and then I decided, you know what? Now I'm gonna push through for another year. And then certain things started to happen that gave me. I started getting booked for a couple, like, TV and film stuff. Very basic, but enough that I was like, oh, okay, there's something to this.
All right. I still managed to keep in contact. So I managed to keep in contact with, like, since I met her, roles changed. But at the time, she was one of the new Newsbeat presenters, and now I think she's one of the head Newsbeat presenters. Still keep in contact with her. I keep in contact with, like, a few different producers, and then a few presenters from Kiss, and a few presenters from Magic and this kids radio. I can't remember the name of. And Represent. So I've still kept all their contacts. I'm still, like, in contact with them.
You got chickens
next door. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even with the window closed, they're loud.
I distracted myself there for a second. So basically, your journey might look something like this.
Yeah.
Might look better than this. It might look worse than this. But essentially, you're starting here. You might start making some progress. Things look good, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You hit a wall, or maybe worse than a wall, and you fall back.
Yeah.
But then you keep working your way up. So I kind of got to, like, this point, right?
Yeah.
I was down here. This was when I was ready to pack it in, and then I just kind of committed to making it work, or at least giving it a proper shot for I had a goal of a year where I'm like, let's see what happens in the next year of, like, full commitment to it. And then things started to do this, and you still get your dips and your peaks and valleys within it. But once you get past a certain point, you heard the idea of, like, the snowball effect.
Maybe.
So basically, it's like you get a snowball and you start rolling it down a hill.
Yeah.
The bigger it gets, is the easier it is to keep it growing and it moves faster. And then eventually it gets to a point where it's just carrying itself over and becomes like an unstoppable force, right? But if you stop that force again, it's going to take even more effort to get it moving again.
Yeah.
So it's about building that momentum and keeping it going.
Yeah. I'd say one good thing about me, which it's a struggle, but it's a good struggle. I really struggle to give up. I can't give anything up because if I'm making something so it doesn't go right, I can't, like, if it doesn't go right, I'll be a bit annoyed, but I won't give it up because I'm like, okay, what if I do this and X, Y, Z? So I struggle to give up on, like, ideas.
What the goal should be for today is I want to go through the overview of you about how I view creative careers, and I want to by the end of this, we want to set some clear goals and milestones that we're then working towards. So
that's cool.
Essentially, I see it like a 4-step process. Yeah. So you've got to be good. Know what you do. So part of that is working on how do you get better.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. But there's you're not going to get past a certain point without being great at what you do. You have to be seen. I put seen / known.
Yeah.
The two kind of go hand in hand, but they don't always mean the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be recommended. So it's one thing to be known and be good, but if no one wants to work with you or has worked with you and wouldn't recommend it to anyone else, it's a dead end right there.
Yeah.
And then I've also put be called back. Being called back is just a good sign of whether what you're doing is working and you're providing a good result. Because if you're providing a good result that people are happy with, that's always going to work in your favor.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to work with you again if they get other projects? And there are reasons. There are many reasons, but if there's a pattern of you keep getting new work, and you're not sustaining any, you want to start looking into why it might be. Okay, so I've got 7 steps, but we're just going to start with the first 3 today.
Okay.
Step 1 is getting better. What can you do? And then we need to actually start building proper strategies around this. Yeah. We'll just focus on setting the goals today. But like, what can you do to get better at presenting right now? Because obviously you're not on the radio station anymore. How are you going to keep those skills sharp?
I'd say listen to other presenters and presenters who have the same kind of genre as me. See how they go across.
What is that genre, by the way?
Hip hop, R&B, neo, jazz.
Okay, so you're talking specifically like music presenting right now, as opposed to
normal presenting as that's
what do you want? What do you want to do? Is there a focus between the two?
I'd say TV presenting. If I could do a reality show, would be really cool to do. So I love reality show. If it's like the show host or the debrief host interviewing, that's the thing I'd like to do, because it's like I like to ask people questions and then delve deeper into their thoughts in a way. That makes sense.
But reality show was the first thing that kind of popped into your mind. I like to create a clear picture.
Yeah.
A vision of where we're going, because it's gonna shape the content you make and every move kind of moving forward. So would you say, it's not to say that you can't do the other stuff, but there definitely should be a focus. Would you say that kind of that more reality TV side of presenting is where you want to focus?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Reality TV goes into entertainment.
Write that down. Write that down.
I'm making bullet points as I've made bullet points and stuff.
Well, I'm going to be chopping up the recording and getting it all ready to go anyway.
Okay.
Because, well, this is essentially day 0.
Yeah.
Day 0. So it's going to form part of the first introduction to you and getting people on board with what's going on.
Oh, okay.
So, Ed, we just said reality TV presenting is kind of like the area that we want to go into. And this is good because it's just you probably not spent as much time really sitting down and thinking about it. So it's going to clarify those goals for you too about what it is that you actually want.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get better at that?
I'd say look at other reality TV shows, see how their interviewing techniques have worked for them, and know how to troubleshoot if something was to go wrong on live TV. So it's like, say it sells to do something on live TV and someone says something they're not meant to, or there's dead air, how to fill that dead air, how to rectify a situation if someone says something wrong, and how to conduct myself, engage the audience, keep the audience happy in a way, and make sure I don't hurt anyone's feelings at the same time. Did the best shows... Say again?
I was just going to say, how are you going to practice that now?
I'd say starters, I'd look on Love Island, The Circle, Big Brother. Could even look at The Real Housewives as well.
you're doing research at the moment, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about actively practicing it.
Oh,
Like you building your chops essentially.
oh well, I'd do like make my TikTok content, and then as well as that, I'd teach myself how to like conduct myself in front of a camera, even if that's looking in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, doing the series is gonna really build that for you. So it might just be a case of your level of commitment to that series, and then pulling up episodes from your series and seeing does this fit in with the like, oh, what's his name, David? He did the Love Island live in the advert breaks.
Oh,
side
spill. Oh, David Whitley.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. What he did was very clever.
I saw it and I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah.
That's
Every ad break.
It's actually amazing. The one time, because that's the one time you can guarantee someone who's watching that show, cool, they're gonna go on people go on their phones in the advert breaks or something.
Exactly. And then after the show, he has the debrief.
So you like, what do they say? The greatest artist steal or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard that a lot.
So that's a golden strategy right there.
Yeah,
you're talking about Big Brother.
No,
your own one.
Yeah,
even if you got 3 people tuning into your live, all of a sudden 3 people turns into 5, turns into 7.
Yeah,
turns into 15. You know, you got to start somewhere, and then you can still do your recorded debrief at the end of it anyway.
It's true.
But that was just such a smart.
It was such really smart
strategy. It's clock how everyone's gonna be looking for something to do in the break.
Yeah, just go onto his live.
To the point people are waiting to get onto the live. And there's about 1,000 people on the live streams by the end of it.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think
we start doing that on TikTok because I don't understand the algorithm for that yet, but you can apply. You apply the same principles. It's the same principles. You could do that with. You said Big Brother's coming up, right?
Yeah, October.
Okay, so yeah, if I were in your shoes, I would get like the dates. I'm sure you probably already have it. I'm
waiting for the rumored list to come out.
Okay.
So from when the rumored list is going to come out, I can speak about who I actually think is going to go on the show, who I think is going to win out of this list, or who's going to get kicked out, and
all of that. And even so, someone who I studied with, she's an artist who's recently been blowing up. Her song's blowing up on TikTok. You can check her out, Chinchilla. She dropped the track. She's done about 20-30 posts of the same song.
Yeah.
In a slightly different way. And people are still engaging with it constantly.
That's like...
We think we've got one idea. We do the idea, run it like once or twice, and then by the second time we're like, oh, I've kind of already done a video about this.
Yeah.
And she's literally posting the same chunk of the song over and over. Go on, Jude.
It's like, you know Jake, the Golden Hour singer?
I don't.
Well,
I probably should.
Yeah, you probably heard his song.
Yeah.
He never released a song at the start. He showed his like first piano teacher the song, and she started to cry. Then from there, I
think I've heard about this.
Yeah, and then from there, he's like, then he released the chorus. Then from the chorus, he just kept saying like, yeah, just hear my new song. Then from there, he was like, this is how I made the song. Then he was like, I'm showing my mom the song, showing my friends the song. And then he made a video saying, you can't play this song on the piano, it's impossible. Then from there, people started to play the song on the piano, so he got more traction. Then he got covers. And then, in my opinion, it's been one of the best-selling songs on TikTok. Easily, because of how sick his promotion was.
makes a lot of sense. So yeah, he's definitely getting clued up there. For me, I think key thing here, how we move forward and actually getting traction and not just talk about things and things not happen, is we need to identify what are the actual limiting factors to you getting booked for paid work. Because at the end of the day, we can do all of this and you can get a couple videos blow up on the gram, on TikTok, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but ultimately at some point you want it to be paying, and we want to hit this first £1,000. So what do you think are going to be the limiting factors that are going to stop you getting booked?
I think if a video doesn't like hit the audience in a way, or if I make a video and it's not very engaging, so I have to make sure I keep my videos engaging. And through that, it's research onto how to keep them engaged and how to hit the algorithm run properly. You'll learn as you go with that. So I don't think that alone is I don't think that's gonna be a deciding factor of whether you get booked for stuff or not. I think it's I don't know. That's like the first thing that pops into my head, to be honest, when I think of not like a bad factor. Is it bad factor? I think.
Well, it's not even so much bad factor. Like, it's less about you. It's more about why are some people getting booked and offered paid work, and you're not in that position.
Yeah, I think maybe building my show reel's up to date now, but I'd still doing little things on TikTok. I could add that to a show reel, even a separate show reel. And
I would argue with you and say the show reel was not going to be the deciding factor.
Really?
Whether you're getting, some people get booked and they don't even have a show reel. So a show reel was not likely to be the determining factor. Like, okay, look at it this way, right? How likely is it that someone in BBC, someone in Channel 4 happens to just stumble across your show reel and go, oh, yeah, let's book this guy?
Yeah. Or then them going onto Instagram and just finding and then scrolling through and seeing what they're like. Because that happened to Judy Love, actually. Because I think because she's on Loose Women now. I've watched Judy Love for like years, since 2017, 2018, and her videos are really funny. All of a sudden, I'm seeing her on Loose Women, like after COVID. I'm like, her? And now she's one of the main Loose Women presenters. She's a presenter on a Channel 4 kid show, and the Loose Women were on about like her comeuppance, and they showed her this video of like her complaining about Elephant and Castle, and there's like a roundabout Elephant and Castle that's like, it's got 7 roundabouts or something, and one of the Loose Women said that's the video that ITV were like, you know what, let's get this woman to be a guest presenter. And I don't think she had a show reel at the time or anything. It was just that video changed her career completely.
Now, what was she doing? Okay. Yeah, what was she doing before that point that got her even to the point of that video being seen? And I'm going to say it like this because a lot of times we look at people in positions that we want to be in, and we look at what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Which is complete wrong way to go about it, because that's not what got them to that position in the first place. You see, if you've not done the study on how Taylor Swift grew, you should really look at how she built her fan base.
Okay.
It was very, very interactive. And more than what your typical artist or musician will do. Normally people just drop a song or have 1 or 2 posts be like, big news coming this evening.
Yeah.
at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And drop the news that my track's out. The issue is, and at the risk of sounding insensitive to it all, they've not given a reason for the audience to care.
Yeah.
Because they've been nowhere. Like, you've not given them a chance to be a fan of your music yet.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So how do you
Happens a lot on TikTok. Happens a lot on TikTok.
How do you build and give? How are you going to give people the chance to become a fan of your presenting? Because that's ultimately what's going to do it. The reason they picked Judy is because they could see she's starting to get traction. She is funny, and
Yeah.
they obviously like the content as well. But also they'd be like, "Oh, this stuff is doing well." If that was her first video, would she have got selected?
No.
Who knows?
Who
knows? You don't know.
Oh yeah, true,
Possibly, probably not. The odds are highly against that.
Yeah, she said it was a good 10-year process.
Right.
Yeah, because she said she was a comedian. She worked in, I think she said she worked in shops, and she was a comedian for about 10 years, and then it was 2008 up until 2018.
That's what most people miss. People miss this section here of the hard work and grinder. They're like, oh, it's just going to be a video that did it. It was never the one video that did it. That was just the tipping
foundation of the video.
It was the tipping point, right? That was the point at which he was like, oh, okay, and now we go.
Yeah.
It was all the work here that got to that point.
Yeah. I'd say for me, I just have to, I'd even ask like questions online and just questions people like, like random shower thoughts, and then like could do those every like few weeks or every few days or something. And then when the reality show hits, I can drop that massive, like the debrief video or the pre-debrief, and try and get it out there so people kind of see a funny side, I think.
Yeah. So limiting factors, if you boil it really down, it comes back to the top 4 headings that I gave you. But then it's thinking about more how that relates specifically to you. So 1 being good. You use the content series to double down on that.
Yeah.
Double down on, like, just, even if you don't end up posting everything, you want to be producing.
Yeah.
Like a monster right now. Even if you don't post it. Just because you're going to build your chops as a presenter, so that when you do get the opportunity, when you actually get that opportunity to be paid for something or do something that gives you a lot of exposure, and it might even just be a video that hits the right way in the right time and goes viral, that actually your skill set is better at that point because you've done the graph before, and then it's the limiting factor is being seen or being known.
Yeah.
You're not going to see the people who are actually making the decisions.
True.
Or should I say who are even, because it doesn't have to be the top decision maker. It can just be someone that they trust.
Yeah.
This happens all the time. Someone that a big decision maker trusts recommends someone who the majority of people have never heard of, but because it's come from someone that they trust, they're like, yeah, let's call this person in.
Yeah.
And then you might get your first shot, which you need to be ready to smash the shot out of the water.
Yeah.
Smash that out of the park to then actually be called back or recommended for other work. You see how that works?
Yeah. I get that.
But the reason I'm asking you about what the limiting factors for you getting booked is because we need to define how we're going to measure your success. As in, what are the measurements? What are the things that we are going to be tracking along this journey, week by week? What are the measurements? Do you know what KPI stands for? Just like key performance indicators. Yeah. So what are those things that we are going to track and measure that are actually going to make a difference?
Making sure like my content is always up to date, and I'm not like I'm not backing out of it if I don't think it's going to hit a certain way, or I don't think it's funny. I just put it.
Give me a measurement.
As in,
give me something that we're going to track. What you can't. I hear what you're saying. 100% hear what you're saying, but we can't track that. So what are we tracking?
I'd say followings and likes on posts. So like analytics on TikTok.
We want specific measures within timeframes that we can actually measure so we can compare it. Like I would say to you, one thing to start with, that's just a very simple way to start tracking is simply just how many uploads are you going to do a week?
Yeah.
Number of weekly and monthly uploads.
Mm-hmm.
What platforms are you going to be posting on?
TikTok, and then I'm going to repost them on my Instagram story or to my Instagram as well for Reels.
I want to be careful of wherever possible. We want to track the stuff that's in your control.
Yeah.
The type of engagement your posts get is useful. It's useful to look at and useful to review, but it's not entirely in your control.
Yeah.
So the goal is to let's identify the things. Well, let's do that. What are the things that you can control within the next 6 to 12 months of us working together? What are the things that you have full control over?
Like production of the uploads, presenting on Instagram, TikTok lives, and looking at the like analytics for posts and keeping up on followings, and then seeing how I could change keep up to date with the algorithm so that I can get my posts more traction.
Yeah, I would worry less about the algorithms.
Yeah.
And treat it more like people.
Okay.
So first off, we got the number of posts. Yeah, that's something you're fully in control of. The amount you produce is something you're fully in control of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely look at how the stuff does and like review it weekly, maybe even monthly when we're talking about making changes, because some things are going to do well, some things aren't, and it might just be timings and just it was initially shown to the wrong set of people.
Yeah.
So but over a course of time, you can use those measurements. But for now, I think number of posts is definitely good. What series are you going to do?
Big Brother, the new ITV2 one.
As in, cool. So think of your channel like a TV station.
Yeah.
What are the different series you're going to do?
Different series. The main one at the moment is Big Brother because that's the new.
Sorry, I don't mean it like that. I mean in terms of your different batches or styles of content. So like you're talking about the rumors, and then
like comedy entertainment. Is that a series? Oh, as in like the build up to the show.
Well, you want to plan where your content's coming from.
Yeah.
So, for example, with this is my series right now with the creative grind, essentially, where I'm helping 2 people get their breaks within the creative industry.
Yeah,
that is this series. But I might also have a series of, say, book reviews or things that have been working for me lately. So you might have the like David had the series of, it wasn't so much called a series, but like that was the thing. You knew that in the ad breaks, he's going to talk about what's just happened.
Yeah.
So you need to have, or I'd suggest that you create similar things where you have a clear picture of, so say we're talking about Big Brother, what exactly are you going to make content on? Is it just the daily review? Is it, so, because is it daily?
Yeah, it's daily. It's like a soap opera.
So daily review is one series.
Yeah.
What else do you have? Or could you have?
I could have like, it's another 24-hour thing as well, so I could see what they're getting up to during the day and seeing, after they leave the villa? No, after they leave the house. So it's like post them leaving the house, what they've said on podcasts, and reacting to that in a way, seeing my opinion on that as well. Because
reaction is a good series.
Yeah.
You could just have reaction to.
Could have like a live reaction to the are they
sounds
called dumpings? Are they dumpings on Big Brother? Or are they the evictions? Like live reactions to the evictions as well.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because then that way, I think the when they're evicted, it's like it finishes the show. Like the show finishes for the day. So then from there, I could have like a 10-minute or 15-minute live about, I can't believe that they've been evicted, and then people are commenting, oh yeah, same, or like, oh, I can't believe you think that they wouldn't be evicted. Then you could settle that kind of debate in a way. Keep it like a happy debate in a way. Like, nah, that's wrong.
I mean,
like,
that's fine. Like it's a series.
Yeah,
it's a vehicle for you to then be able to make content and be seen, develop your craft, but also build that audience. Okay, so Big Brother's not until October. What are you going to do until then?
I'm gonna try and see if I can make like short 7-second things. I still want to kind of give an introduction to me in a way. So whether that's showing my musical side, but I want to keep. If I show my musical side, I'm going to have to keep that brand in a way. And if I want to set my brand to do entertainment,
I don't think you have to. I think it's people feel like they get a better idea for you if you do it. But you need to be clear on who you want your audience to be and what your channel focuses. So I would suggest, it's not to say you can't do the music stuff at all, but I'd suggest that if you're gonna center more around the kind of like reality TV presenting, do that.
Good. I'd say I'd still like to keep it on a reality show-esque level, but none of the reality shows are coming out just yet. If I started my thingy beforehand, I could have done Too Hot to Handle. But you
could still do more content off the back of the likes of Love Island. What's a popular Netflix series right now? Maybe you go on Netflix and
Too Hot to Handle's the one. And Temptation Island.
Lord. I mean, it's there for you. I guess what I'm saying is go on the likes of Netflix, see what the trending stuff is. Up until Big Brother, make a load of content on that.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
But like when we get into this more, and like I need to get better at this myself. But with this, you're going to see more of how I'm going to move forward doing that. Yeah. Well, it's essentially I've got the big series, which is this, which will then get cut up and chunked up into other lots of small pieces of content. So this might just be a voiceover, and it cuts to you or me, but then there's actually graphics in the background. You see, so it's not just going to be a talking head the whole time. I might upload that as a separate video for people to watch, because I need the YouTube watch time. Yeah. And then out off the back of that, we're going to get flying there. I was going to say, what do you think is a good number for this week? We're Wednesday now, so by Wednesday next week, how many videos are you going to have posted?
Wednesday next week. That is the 16th. I want to try for 14 videos.
You sure?
I'll try for 7 videos. I'll half it.
Let's start. I mean, 14 is doable, but because you've not started yet. Let's say that's the minimum. That doesn't mean you stop when you get there, but at least then you're building up that consistency. How does that feel?
That's cool.
So we want you want to get into reality TV presenting, essentially. That's the kind of big picture goal. Yeah. Our strategy for getting better, building the CV, being seen, to actually start developing the right skills, but also showing up in the right people. You're going to do your research on other presenters, but you're just going to get active
Yeah.
on. I'm going to change your target. I want minimum 10 videos.
Okay.
Minimum. It's a lot. It's a lot, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't. If you spend some time actually strategizing how you're going to do it,
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't take. Actually, it doesn't have to take ages to do it. You could do 10 videos in an afternoon.
Yeah.
You actually just set aside an afternoon to do it.
That's true.
For TikTok, you could do 10 videos in an afternoon.
Mm. That's doable. That could be doable, yeah.
How does that all sound?
That sounds good.
How does it feel?
It feels fine. It's just, I know I've got to put the work in now, innit? And it's not, it's putting in the work.
Saying hi.
Yeah. It's putting in the work for stuff. It's nothing I've, like, not done before. It's just making sure I keep up with it.
That is the key. Like, I'm kicking myself. Honestly, Jude, I'm kicking myself for not keeping up the YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I've looked now like where I could have been if the last 2 years I had stayed consistent.
Yeah.
I'm looking at people that were the same kind of content as me when I was specifically just for bass back then.
Yeah.
And where we were the same, we were getting about similar views back then. And looking at where they are now,
it's mad.
That's where we're going, and that's why we're going there. But sounds like a great starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions before we leave today?
None from the top of my head now.
All right. WhatsApp me if you got any questions, anything, and then let me know when you posted your next video.
Will do.